All right, next up are the Indiana Hoosiers, represented by head coach Teri Moren, student athletes Chloe Moore-McNeil and Sydney Parrish. Chloe obviously likes to sit closer to me, apparently. Appreciate that. Coach, if you would, please make an opening statement.
Well, congratulations to South Carolina. Terrific team, and we'll be cheering for them as they move forward and advance. Outstanding crowd. This is the first time we've been here. At least I've been here. So, it's a tough place to play. They make it a tough environment. So, but it's great for women's basketball. So we are grateful for that. Proud of our group. We're disappointed. I thought we did a great job defensively. We wanted it to be a low possession game. I thought we came out and really did a great job. This is a team that averages over 80 points. We held them to the 64. They averaged 40 points in the paint. We kept them about, I think, 10 below their average. 13 second chance points. We just gave them 5 tonight. It was the third quarter that kind of did us in. 14 points. I think they scored in the paint in the third. We had 5 turnovers. Just costly. Coming out of halftime. And other than that, the first, second, fourth quarter, we were right there. So if we could have any do-overs, it would have been that third quarter. I think, maybe we could have got the outcome that we wanted. But really grateful, for our effort from our team. Really proud of them. Love these 2 that are up here with me that, represent Indiana. And like I said, we're disappointed, but as I said to them, there's a legacy that these 2 are going to, they've created at Indiana, and not a lot of kids can say that. I know the portal opens tomorrow, and a lot of these kids are going to be hopping around, doing different things. But Sid and Chloe have won a lot of games at Indiana. They've won a Big Ten championship. And have put us in positions, during March that have been really special. And there's no doubt that the 2 of these guys have left a legacy at Indiana. And that's really all you want out of your career. So very proud of them.
We'll open up for questions just for the student athletes at this time. If you would, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. And we'll start with Pete Acabelli in the Associated Press.
Yeah, Chloe, that third quarter, was it more what they started to do, or was it something that you guys did not do that you were doing earlier in the game?
I think it was a mixture of both. Obviously they're the #1 team in the country in terms of transition offense and capitalizing on people's turnovers. I think, they did have pressure on us at times, but at the same time, I think we did have some careless mistakes.
Let's go to the 4th row right there on the left.
Chloe, you had it going in the first half, and, it seemed like you were giving them trouble. When that third quarter came, did you feel like you wanted to get your team more involved, or what was your thinking in that third quarter?
Yeah, I think it was just me just naturally making reads what the defense was doing, and it was, like you said, more so getting my teammates going because that's what they were giving me.
Let's come up to the way of the front here.
For either of you, what was the difference in the way the game played out? Last year, obviously, a big focus was the inside with Holmes and Cardoso. This year, neither team had exactly, that focus in the post. So how different was this type of game, being a faster pace that was more based on, the guards?
Cindy, you want to take that first?
Yeah, we tried to emphasize, not thinking about last year, being present in the moment. And so, like we said, both teams were very different from last year to this year. And just trying to be where our feet are, be in the moment. It's a different team. It's a different year.
Chloe?
I mean, we definitely had last year in the back of our heads. But like Sydney said, just trying to stay in the moment and stay present.
Let's go way over to the right. Second row.
Chloe, when you look back at your career here, what do you remember the most about your time?
I'm not going to remember any of the stats, any of that. I think I'm going to remember the special moments with my team. when it started my freshman year being lead eight, now just being here at South Carolina, a great arena, and even winning the Big Ten tournament and making those deep runs.
To the second row.
Over the course of the year, you've hung in there with some of the top teams in the country. You beat Ohio State as well. What does the fight of your team say about your group, and what legacy do you want that to be?
Chloe, you want to take that first?
Yeah, I think every single one of us take pride in wearing Indiana across our chest. Obviously, Coach Moren has turned this program around and built it from the ground up, and we've created a great fan base here.
Sydney?
Yeah, well, we go back to think of how kind of up and down the year was, but like you said, we competed with some of the top teams in the country, and that says a lot about our group, and we just stuck together. It's hard, to stick together when times get hard, but I think we showed that a couple times this year.
Other questions? Go ahead, third row.
Yeah, just for both of you, after these, 3 or 5 years, just what are your plans post-college?
Sydney?
I'm hoping to keep playing, whether that's in the W, that'd be great, and potentially overseas. And if that doesn't go the way I want, hopefully I can get a job in the sports media field, whether that's analyst or broadcasting or sitting right where you guys are.
Chloe?
Yeah, same here. I hope to be lucky enough to continue my basketball career, but if not, you always have to have a plan B, and that's continuing schooling and ultrasound technician.
Let's go to the left.
With the portal opening tomorrow, I guess kind of what would you say to prospective recruits that are looking at Indiana?
Chloe, you want to take that first?
Yeah, when you come here, you got to expect to work hard every single day. Nothing's going to come easy, but also it's the culture piece as well. You got to put others first and be willing to play team basketball and give up a good shot for a great shot.
Sydney?
Yeah, just going off of Chloe, she kind of hit the nail on the head there. Work hard every day. If you don't want to work hard, then it's not the place for you. And if you want to play in March Madness, you come to Indiana. And I think Coach Moren has made that a huge deal here. But it takes hard work, and it takes showing up every single day. And if you want to play for somebody like Coach Moren, you come to Indiana. And I think she's shown how she's built this program, like Chloe said, from the ground up, and has made greats. Think of Grace Berger, the Mackenzie Holmes, the Chloe Moore-McNeil. Those are 3 names nobody knew who they were in high school. Nobody, right, Chloe? Like, nobody knew who they were in high school. And they came and took a chance on Indiana, and they're pros now.
Let's go here in the second row.
Obviously, you both have, very close relationships with Teri, but what do you guys value the most about playing under her for the past couple seasons?
Sydney?
That she wants to win for us. She puts the team first. She puts her players first. She is a player's coach. She's really receptive of us in practice. She kind of lets the leaders take control in practice sometimes as well, and she trusts us. And I think that's huge coming from a head coach, and just so grateful that she takes chances on kids in the portal, kids not in the portal, and she just wants to win at all cost. And it's just so special to look over to the sideline sometimes after you airball 3 and she's clapping her hands, even though she's probably not thinking that. She's always instilling confidence in you no matter what the situation is, and that's huge. And that just makes someone with maybe not as much confidence go out and play as hard as they can.
Sydney?
Yeah, I agree with Sydney. The confidence she has with us, she's behind us 10 toes down, and I'm just grateful she gave me another chance to come back for my 5th year.
Let's go to Seth Toe on Zoom. Seth?
Yeah, I guess I'll direct this to Sydney, but really can be either of you. I guess, seeing everything experiencing everything you have the last few years and seeing what's, the younger players on the roster, the players coming in, just, I guess, what's your confidence level in the program kind of sustaining what's been built the next few years, just with everything that's still there and everything that's to come?
Yeah, I don't know if people thought we'd be in this situation after losing Sarah and Mackenzie last year. And I think that, you just have, with the transfer portal now, people come and go really quickly, so it takes a while sometimes to build teams. But I think it shows our year to year. I think we've made the NCAA tournament 4 years in a row now. And I think it just shows how Indiana keeps building. They lose good players, but you keep building and keep building. So I have a lot of confidence in the team next year and the teams years to come. And I think that starts with our head coach and our coaching staff, bringing in the right people.
Chloe, do you want to? Yeah. All right. Thank you, y'all. You can go. Appreciate it.
Good job, you guys. Thank you.
Take questions now for Coach Moren. We'll start with Pete.
Hey, Terry, you'd mentioned that third quarter.
Right.
Was it more about South Carolina finding another gear, or were there things that you guys did not do that you were doing earlier in the game?
I think it was probably a little bit of both. You know, I wasn't in Dawn's halftime, but I would imagine she, it might have been a little spirited in there. And, you know, she probably got after them a little bit, that they needed to pick it up, because I think Chloe alluded to it. That's kind of how it felt, that their intensity did pick up. So some of it was them. Some of it was careless mistakes, just not taking care of the ball the way we needed to. And so, like I said, I think it was a combination of the two things. But you know, you can't do that against a team like South Carolina. You know, you gotta hang with them each quarter, and you know, that was you know, what's again has been disappointing. You know, that's disappointing, right? That we didn't come out with the same sort of focus, probably ability to take care of the ball that we needed to, knowing that they were going to come out with more intensity.
Let's go to the third row on the left.
When Sydney and Chloe are sitting up there talking about how much they love playing for you and for Indiana, what does that kind of make you feel?
Oh, well, you know, it's it always feels good. You know, none of us feel good right now, but you know, but it goes far deeper than, you know, just me. You know, I have a terrific staff that pours into these players every single day, and you know, excellent support from the top, from, you know, Pam Winton to Scott Dolson, to, you know, the support staff that we have that care about women's basketball, that support women's basketball. And so, you know, it means a lot. But you know, it's you know, like I said, I'm most proud of how what they're leaving behind, right? You know, those saying you want to leave it better than you found it. It was in pretty good shape, right? Now, not maybe for Sid a little bit better shape. Chloe helped with the build, the climb, and you know, like I said, they're going to be able to walk away from here and feel good about what they did in their time in Indiana, and that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Here in the front.
Teri, you mentioned the portal opening tomorrow. When you look at, you know, just losing 3 seniors now, just how do you plan to address maybe some of the holes that have now been created in your roster from that?
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of holes to fill. You know, I think with the portal opening, I think there's going to be a lot of schools out there that are going to have some holes to fill, and we'll go back. You know, this is and trust me, we've already, you know, sort of been in the process of kind of figuring out what we feel like those holes are going to be, and addressing those, and then you know, like the rest of the country, everybody will be in the portal. So, but for us, it's going to be real important because we don't go into the portal. We're very careful. I think you guys, you followed us. You know that we there's certain types of players that have to fit Indiana in the way we do things, you know, in our program, and you know, we'll have to address those and find out. But I think we'll have probably several holes to fill.
Going to stay in the third row, right? Go ahead.
Coach, I'll ask you the same question I asked Sydney and Chloe. You've hung in there with top teams in the country. You beat Ohio State as well. All year long, you've been competitive. What does that say about the fight of your team, and what does that say about your team in general? Well,
again, you know, it always goes back to making sure that we're recruiting winners, right? They're coming from places where they've won. they're competitive. They love to work. They love to be a part of the process. And, you know, Chloe said it, if you're going to come here, you're going to be about the team. It's the team, the team, the team. It's not about you when you come to Indiana. Now, we're going to help you. We're going to help you with your player development. We're going to help you thrive in our culture and in our, you know, whether it's defensively, offensively. You leave Indiana a better player. You know, we will always, and again, I talked about the standards the other day. There's a certain standard that we're going to live up to, and you know, from the best player to the player that may not see a lot of tick time, eventually they will. You got to stick with the process. That's why I'm so proud of Chloe. Those Chloes are gone. They're not staying 4 years. They're not staying 5 years, and so she's somebody that, you know, you write about as far as sticking with the process. You know, being loyal. I think that's real important.
Let's go here in the second row.
Teri, you made a comment yesterday about you and your staff kind of learning throughout the season.
Yeah.
Now that it's, you know, it's come to an end, what are some of the biggest things you've learned this year and some of the biggest things you can take away from this season?
Well, again, I think some of the things you learn is that, you know, we have to make sure we have the right pieces, you know, in our program, and so, you know, I think that's where it starts. We will always be a team that is going to play a certain way. You know, we will always hang our hat on the defensive side of the ball. That's just what I believe. I get it. We got to score, but there's just certain things that, in the way that we've built this, we've really, you know, been the gritty, the tough, no nonsense, you know, team, and so. You know, being able to find those kinds of kids, right, that are going to come in and want to be a part of something that's going to be hard every day, right? Because winning is hard, and I say that a lot around Cook Hall, and so, you know, I know that we're going to have a lot of work to do as we push ahead and we lose the kids that we lose, and they were so instrumental. It has been, you know, a season of change, but it's also, I think, made me a better coach. I think it's made our staff a better staff, and you know, we move forward, you know, from here and find the players that are going to thrive in our environment, thrive in our culture, and look forward to what's next.
In the front row right here.
Coach, while this didn't quite reach the levels of the last few seasons, in some ways, is it more critical to show you can win, you know, without an all-time great like Grace Berger and Mackenzie Holmes? A lot of teams, especially I've come to mind at IU, where that have maintained a lot of winning. It wasn't necessarily the season with the legend, but the season after that they were able to keep winning that made it go forward. So is that more critical this year to have the season you did to show you can continue to win at a high level regardless of who's here and it's bigger than the program?
Well, again, I think my players are pretty dang good, you know, and, you know, you alluded to some of those greats, but, you know, we have some really good players, you know, that are on this team now that will, you know, that will go out and will recruit. We're excited about the ones that are coming in to join us. But, you know, it's, like I said, the standards are the standards. They're not going to change what we're going to do. You know, we want to continue to win at a high level. We want to continue to be a part of March Madness, and it's hard. But you know, you just have to you have to find the right kinds of kids, you know, that want to be a part of the grind and the climb every single day. But you know, it is still the team. Like, yes, would you like to have 5 All-Americans? No doubt. You know, 2 All-Americans, okay, that'd be great too. But we're going to recruit the kids that fit us. That's the most important thing to me. The wins, the success are important, yes. But you know, there's another piece to this, that we're developing student athletes and we're preparing them, you know, for life after Indiana. And there's still student athletes that want that, right? They want to come in, they want to have success, they want to play in March Madness, but they want a great degree, you know, from a great institution like Indiana.
Second row.
Coach, it seems like everywhere that Indiana has traveled this year, the fans have followed, not just at Assembly Hall. What's your message to Hoosier fans that have gone on the road, especially in environments like these where they're outmatched, but they're still very vocal?
Yeah. I appreciate that question because that's so important. And I was remiss in probably, talking about the crowd here at South Carolina, but also I should have included Hoosier Nation. Again, it's what we've built, at Indiana, with our fans, our women's basketball fans that show up night in and night out, for our players and our program. And they make Simon Scott Assembly Hall a very difficult place to win. They give us energy, they give us great juice, and we're so grateful, right? Whether they're in the hall or whether they travel to Columbia, South Carolina. So again, I appreciate that question.
We have 2 questions via Zoom. Todd Golden, go ahead.
Hey, Teri, kind of flowing along with some of the things you've already said about your principles and your standards for who you want to bring in, and also the reality of the portal. What do you look at in terms of how you match that to what you may need X's and O's wise? Are there any traits that you're looking for that maybe, that you wish you had this year? How do you kind of view that?
Well, again, I think with the addition of the 4 new teams, from the West Coast, there's no doubt, when I look at our team, we're going to have to get bigger. We'd like to get more athletic, for sure. But, the intangible things are still, really important to me, and that's the high character piece. That's being about the team, not being about myself or yourself, or, we want competitors. We want kids that want to come in and work every single day, and, the willingness and the commitment that our staff has in pouring into those players and helping them develop, as players is off the charts. And so, we'll continue with that recipe because I feel like it has worked for us. But as the game has grown and continues to grow, we're going to have to grow with it. And, so those are things that, in my mind, that come to me, right, Todd, that in terms of what our team, the direction that our team needs to go in.
The last question goes to Seth Tope.
Hey, Teri. First off, always appreciate how earnest you are in moments like these. But big picture, obviously, you've been to the Elite Eight, you've been to 3 Sweet 16s, you won a Big Ten title. I guess when it comes to taking that next step as a program, do you feel like it kind of comes down to the rolls of the dice, how the bracket plays out, a couple bounces here and there, things like that? Or is there anything kind of you feel like you need to change or adjust about your program to kind of get you to that next level?
Well, there's no doubt that it comes down to matchups, I think I got asked a couple days ago about the playing at home. And I had to be really careful because I've had the luxury of playing at home and how important that is. But going to neutral sites, would that help? Would that, the parity is so great right now. Does that matter? And I think it does. I think we got to get to a point where we sort of mirror what the guys do and have those neutral sites. Because matchups matter, but home court advantage matters. And again, I've been a recipient, I've been on the other side of this where, kids or players have had to come in, teams have had to come into Simon Scott Assembly Hall and play in such a, daunting place with our fans. And so I think, that's going to be something that I may change, as we move forward with women's basketball. But, there's going to be other things, Seth, that are going to have to change inside of our program. And, we'll address those, as we leave here. And but I don't want to get lost in, and take anything away from the achievements that, especially this year, because this year was tough. And again, you don't replace an All-American. You don't replace somebody like Sarah Scallion and think you're going to be the same team. It just doesn't happen. So I'm really, really grateful, really proud of the group that wore the Indiana jersey this year. In spite of all the ups and downs, we still had some really, really special moments, great moments that we will take from this, and hopefully it will serve as motivation as we move forward.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Terry.